Hi, it's Kathy. I'm back to talk to you about my signature formula. Not that it's a signature formula, it's a formula for making signatures. Maybe it is a signature formula. I don't think so. I think it's pretty basic. So I don't type all this up every time I make a journal, but I wanted to do it this way to show you my thought process and how I start with a basic formula so that I don't get overwhelmed, and it gives me a starting point. It gives me a base to start with. I put it together, and then I tweak it from there. And by tweaking it, I mean I will have it all folded, not sewn yet, just folded, and then I start flipping through and I decide, yeah, that looks nice beside this. That goes well. This is a good flow. But if I find that I have like ledger paper and then really small here and it's clashing, I'm going to pull that piece out and replace it with something else. So before you sew, before you commit to sewing, just flip through a few times, make some changes. Like this has dark in it, so I put it beside some dark print. And it also has the white roses, so the white paper here balances that. So you'll get to know if it just looks good. At this point, we're not going to talk about adding envelopes and such. That would be in the next video. We're just going to talk about collating and coming up with this base formula. So when I talk about, yeah, let's just jump right into it. So this will also be in your June newsletter, this basic formula that I follow. So last video we talked about the basic recipe, which papers we use, or I use in my journals, and now here's how I put them together. So I'll zoom in a bit and hopefully we can make some sense of my Kathy's math. All right, let's see here. So, okay. So I know that I wanted 6 signatures in this journal, this witch journal I'm working on, so that more signatures, it hopefully will lay more flat so that it can be used for product flat lay pictures by the new owner. So I know I want this journal to be 6 signatures. I'm going to guesstimate right now that I'm going to put 10 sheets of paper, whatever they might be, any of these, per signature. So when all is said and done, I'll have 6 signatures of 10 pages each for a total of 60 sheets, which makes a 240 page journal. So just like when you're reading your books, whoops, just a second. There we go. Just like when you're reading a book, page 64, page 65, page 66, page 67. Just the same way. That's exactly how we count our pages for a journal, a junk journal. So page 1, 2, 3, back out a bit, sorry. I don't have the right equipment. I have a new phone and it doesn't fit in the holder I had before, so bear with me on that. Start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You get the idea. So in the end, with this formula, I'm going to have a 240 page journal. So what I do, I don't write this out every time. I might make some notes, just jot them down as I'm working along, usually on my desktop or something. But if you are having 10 sheets per signature, write 1 through 10 down the side. If you've decided to do 8 sheets, write 1 through 8 down the side. If you decided you're doing 20, write 1 through 20 down the side. Okay, so I know that in every signature, I would like one piece of scrapbook paper that's a little bit thicker, which are from this book here. Let me get rid of this cover. We don't need that anymore. But that's the thicker paper I'm talking about. So that's this thick stuff here. I want a thick piece of scrapbook paper either in the center or I want that on the outside of the signature, like this. Now this one was kind of plain on purpose because I had decided to do them in the centers for these, for this particular book. And then I like to use the scrapbook paper to fold up. I've got it pre-creased and I make pockets out of that, which we'll talk about in the next video or the one after. So I know for sure each journal, or I'm sorry, each signature, this is not the journal, this is a different journal, is going to have one piece of scrapbook paper. That's this thick stuff. So one piece times, using this formula here, one piece times 6 signatures equals 6 pieces of scrapbook total that I'm going to need for this journal. Then I would do some sort of a pattern so that there's a nice flow throughout the journal, so that when you turn the page, you have printable, tea-dyed, book page, printable, tea-dyed, book page. So you see how not all of the printables are side by side, because otherwise we'd end up with, I mean, sometimes you do it on purpose, but you'd end up with this, which is fine. But I like to break it up so that it's has more visual interest and flow. So not all the tea-dyed papers grouped together. We use this pattern for, well, I think that kind of speaks for itself. So I know that out of these 10 sheets of paper, this is my pattern. So I need, sheet number 2 needs to be a printable. So I need one of those. Sheet number 3 is going to be tea-dyed. Sheet 4 is a book page. Sheet 5 is a printable, da 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 da. So using the same calculation, 6 signatures times 1 sheet equals 6 sheets total. Then the grand total of sheets, I've done this color coding to show you. So the scrapbook paper, I only need 6. And then the printables is in blue. So there's 1, 2, 3. So that's this one, and this one for a total of 18. Same thing for the tea-dyed, same thing for the book page. If I add those up, 6, 18, 18, and 18 equals 60. So 60, that's my sheet count. That's how I do my formula. That's how I figure out my pages. Now when I have counted these out already ahead of time. So in front of me I have my 6 pieces of scrapbook paper, and I have 18 printables, and I have 18 sheets of tea-dyed, and I have 18 book pages. So let's zoom out and I'll show you how I would then just start collating. So I'm going to end up with 6 piles of paper following my signature. So at this point, don't worry if they're in the right spot. I don't know if I can fit this all in frame. Like this would be something good to go do on your dining room table or your island. But following this formula, I'm going to use 1 piece of scrapbook paper and then a printable. I guess I should probably, let me do this in order. There we go. There we go. Better? Better. Everybody in the frame? Okay. So we would do 1 piece of scrapbook paper, and I would probably flip this over. 1 printable, 1 tea-dyed, 1 book page. Start again. Printable, tea-dyed, book page. Printable, so I'm not doing a scrapbook page, I don't need it. Printable, tea-dyed, book page, and then 1 more round. Printable, tea-dyed, book page. Okay, so that's 1 signature. That's everything I need for the 1 signature. So I would continue and do the other 5. So I would end up with 6 piles like this. That's going to be 1 signature. So let's do 1 more together, and then we'll fold 1. Well, actually, we're probably going to save that for next video. So I need 1 piece of scrapbook paper. I'm just going to flip it over. A piece of printable. paper, tea-dyed book page, printable, tea-dyed book page, and another set, printable, tea-dyed book page. Is that 3? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So that's another signature. Good to go. Okay. So here's 2 signatures ready to go for the next stage, which would be folding and sorting. That's where I'm at. Okay. I should have mentioned before, when I print these out, when I print the files, this particular digital, she has 5 in her kit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, print. So I would start separating them. I'd start collating them, and then I do the next kit, and then I do the next kit. So these are different kits. I've printed front and back. So I've already collated these into packs of 3 because I knew what my numbers were going to be. Just so that when you're assembling this first signature or second signature, the 3 printables in here aren't from the same kit. I've mixed them up a bit. If you are using printables just from one kit, that's okay. I'm just saying, if you're using multiple kits, first collate them, then collate the whole package. Okay? I hope that makes some sense. If you start with a basic formula, I did a reel about it, and a lot of people seem to appreciate that, just because sometimes we get stuck and we're not sure where to begin. So this is a good starting point. And like I said, at first, it's not the right size. This is going to be too big. The book page is too big. Don't worry about that just now. Just get everything collated first, and then we'll start folding, and then we'll start assembling, and then we'll go through and decide, I'm going to change this one out for something else. Like, that's a little bit plain, but then again, there's a purpose for that because that is real faint line paper. So I wanted this to be a whole spread. Anyways, you get the picture, you get the point, what I'm trying to say here. I hope that helps. So in your newsletter, I'm going to send you the formula, calculation, and wherever it got to, it's buried. And I'm also going to send you the paper, let's call it a recipe from last video. Okay, great. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.